We're going to conclude this series with some advice from the ladies on how to overcome these obstacles. Um, Please subscribe to the show. I only need 5 more to get to the goal that we intended for this year. It sounds like you've all had something that you've had to deal with, but through perseverance, just and the willingness to overlook some things. I think Candace, you were saying that at the beginning. Um, you were able to go through it. So, what type of advice would you give uh, new women hunters that may get into this, that may stumble across that guy that doesn't feel like women should be hunting, or maybe it's even another woman that doesn't feel like women should be hunting. That could happen too. What kind of advice would you give them? Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I think the biggest thing now
Find a
is,
workshop.
oh, there you go. Find a
There.
workshop. Go ahead, Wendy.
No, I mean, Bob knows how intimately involved I am in the Hunter Skills Weekend, and Megan and Maria also. But the beauty of the events, that event that we have in Virginia, is that regardless of age or gender, if you're interested, you can have a lot of questions answered without any putting out any money, buying any equipment, without pressure of somebody forcing you to do it. If you don't want to shoot once you show up at the workshop, you don't. You can watch, you can learn, you can get comfortable with the whole concept without having to make any kind of commitment for time. I know some women have reservations in a mentorship scenario where they would be by themselves in the woods with another person, maybe that they aren't overly familiar with. So there's that safety risk. If you say, well, find a mentor and go out with a mentor, that's not that can be uncomfortable. And finding somebody who's a good fit personality wise to go out with you and do that. So the workshop environments are wonderful because there's other people around. There's no commitment of equipment, and it's a short term. It's a maybe a 4 hour or a chunk of one day, and you may learn in that period of time whether or not that's even something you want to pursue any farther. So I'm a big fan of the workshops.
But Wendy, you guys just did a women's only weekend. What was it? Was that last weekend?
That's yeah, I'm not involved in that one, but that one
Okay.
is through Wilderness Discovery and the Department of Wildlife Resources, and that was also in Holiday Lake 4-H
Okay.
Center. But it's different partners that put that program on. But
Okay.
yes, that's a women's only weekend. Hmm.
Okay.
And
Candace?
they explore more than just hunting.
Oh
They,
yeah.
they get into other types of outdoor activities that are a broader scope than the hunter skills weekend.
Yeah, they were getting into prepping and survival skills and all kinds of stuff. So Candace, you were getting ready to say something?
Yeah, so I actually did just participate in a Women in the Outdoors event in April with a friend of mine through like the Texas Parks and Wildlife Service and stuff like that. And it was kind of a broad spectrum thing. And some of it was just fun, like axe throwing and, stuff like that. But they did have, like an introduction to archery and stuff like that too. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of programs out there. Obviously, Wendy and y'all know a little bit more about them in your area and stuff. Um, I was just going to say, with the vast amount of information that's on the internet, do some research on your own first and see, kind of what piques your interest. Do you want to be, are you leaning more towards archery? Are you leaning more towards firearms as far as hunting goes? And then, like I said, I always say go to your more individual pro shops versus some of the big box stores. And if you just don't get the right feeling when you're there, then go somewhere else. And it, like even Megan said, Maria, it's worth the drive to go somewhere where you're gonna get that personalized experience. And talk to your friends, whatever, whoever, somebody piqued your interest in hunting, talk to them, bug them, drive them crazy with your questions, because if they're like me, I love, talking about it. I love helping women. I actually worked with a woman probably 10 years, 15 years ago now. She started hunting in her 50s solely because she heard me telling my hunting stories from the weekend. And she was a fisherwoman, but she was green as all you can be in hunting. And now she has immersed herself into reading and learning and educating herself. And she goes out by herself all the time and, kills deer and pigs and everything, cleans them, processes the meat herself and everything in just a few short years. And so I would just say, whoever piqued your interest, start talking to them and watch podcasts, follow some social media sites.
Yeah.
Some are better than others, but definitely don't let social media skew what you think hunting should be about, or what's a trophy or what's not, or anything like that. So use a filter, but I would just definitely get the information and just get out there and start, trying things.
Maria, Megan, what kind of advice would you give?
I think that I would definitely say, look at what resources are available to you. A lot of the Virginia Hunter Ed classes are free or at a significantly reduced price, which really opens up access to a lot more people. And when it's a $100 investment for a day-long, upland game bird clinic that includes a hunt in the afternoon, you really feel like you're getting the most out of that experience, whereas it might be normally very cost prohibitive. I think another thing too is having a very frank understanding about what your limitations are, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, like, until you can recognize what obstacles you may be facing, whether it's something physical, right? So I'm like very short, right? So like, okay, I'm very short. So when I'm looking at gear and guns and things like that, I really keep in mind, like, what am I physically very comfortable doing, and maybe like, what's that, like 10%, like 10% that above maybe what I'm comfortable with, just to try and grow into something. But not to be like, oh well, obviously I definitely want to have a 12 gauge shotgun because everybody has a 12 gauge shotgun. Like, that's that's definitely not the way to go. Also, I think there are some really creative solutions and resources out there. I wasn't in the woods bow hunting on Saturday because I was doing the new member orientation at the Isaac Walton League of America Arlington Fairfax chapter, which for $200 a year is gives me access to really high quality rifle and pistol ranges, a really great 3D archery course, indoor archery range, and they have 50 acres of hunting land in the Shenandoah that you can just go on their Sign Up Genius site, and it's all included in the membership. So even though I live on a small farm, I'm pretty sure my neighbors wouldn't really like me to shoot my 308 by their house. Bow hunting is different, but so if I had grown up in an environment where I had inherited a hunt club membership, or if I was just sort of entrenched into everything from a really young age, I don't think I would be aware of these other really amazing resources and opportunities that are out there. So it would have been nice, to start doing this when I was a kid, but because I didn't, now I'm, able to join a community that really excites me. So I would have met Megan or Wendy or Candace. So, or you, Bob.
Now, maybe one day we'll meet in person, but yeah, I'm a member of the Isaac Walton League down here in Augusta County.
Yeah, they're great. And I think Megan, you're looking at one too, or
Yeah, I'm looking at, I think the Stafford one.
Okay.
Yeah, still got to finish putting all that together. So for me, I think the biggest thing I'd say is, just having an open mind. So a lot of the state sites are great. So for instance, Virginia has the DWR, the Department of Wildlife Resources. Maryland has the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, and really going on those sites. Like I said, I was able to find the First Shot Mentored Hunt program in Maryland to participate in that. The Virginia Hunter Skills Weekend has some squirrel hunts during the weekend, as well as various other events that's put on by the Virginia Hunter Ed, which is just a great program. There's also Becoming an Outdoors Woman. So I've went to one in Alabama. There's another one in Delaware. I think the few of us are going to this coming weekend. So just looking at those other, resources and not being afraid to try something new. That's how Maria and I met Wendy and the other ladies, that, we just all decided we went on their own, and now we became friends, and we've done stuff together, since that first weekend. So just being, willing to step out of your comfort zone, to go to a clinic, if it's hosted like the ones from Virginia Hunter Ed, which are just phenomenal. And, it's just amazing, the resources out there, especially the willingness of people like Wendy and her husband and you, Bob, and, Candace, that, to teach and mentor others, whether it's in a clinic or, other settings. So I think just, using the resources out there, especially the ones that are free, to try to, put your little toes in the water and then see if it works. And then if it does, just, continue on your own and just continue to use those resources to get the recommendations, and to keep progressing in what you want to do and what you want to get out of it.
Very good. And the one thing that I'm going to say to everybody, and this was brought up by, I think Maria, I think you said it, or maybe it was one of the other ladies. So I'm just going to bring it over into this show, is get a tribe. As Maria and Megan said, they met at these workshops along with, is it Christy? Is that her? Okay. So Christy and Stephanie. So there's a group of 4 women there that are constantly going to all these different workshops together. And what you guys said last time I interviewed you guys, as soon as you see one plop up on the website, you're emailing everybody across, hey, here's a new one, go in there and register. So get a tribe, get a group of like-minded people, and just get out there and have some fun. And everybody else that's listening, take heed to what they're saying. Just get out in the outdoors and have some fun. So bye, y'all.
Bye.
bye.